नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि
And what started on that day?
सबका साथ सबका विकास हमारा प्रण है। यूपी प्लस योगी बहुत है उपयोगी। ये चुनाव मध्य प्रदेश का भविष्य तय करने के लिए
डबल इंजन यानी डबल वेलफेयर, ये नॉर्थ ईस्ट के नागरिकों का सम्मान है। बीते वर्षों में
Continues to this one.
भाजपा मुख्यालय ऐसे अनेक अवसरों का साक्षी बना।
Prime Minister Narendra Damodar Das Modi, leading the most successful electoral enterprise, the Bharatiya Janata Party, for 9 straight years and counting.
न खाता हूं न खाने दूंगा। 7 महीने एक सेवक को दे के देखो, मैं सिर्फ सेवक हूं। जो आग आपके दिल में है वही आग मेरे दिल में है।
In 2014, India had 83 crore electorate. That is the entire population of Europe, Canada and Australia put together. About 55 crore voted, 17 crore for the BJP alone. That's as many people to form more than 4 straight lines from the North Pole to the South. In 2019, India had 91 crore electorate. That's Europe, Russia and Australia put together. The BJP alone managed 23 crore votes this time. That's almost 6 straight lines of people from the North to the South Pole. So, how did Modi's party do it?
लोकतंत्र के संस्कार
Or is it just Modi?
लोकतंत्र का स्पिरिट, भारत के संविधान का स्पिरिट।
निश्चित रूप से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नेतृत्व भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जीत में एक बड़ा और महत्वपूर्ण पड़ाव है।
Modi factor is always there, but as I have explained in my book, The Architect of the New BJP, in which I have interviewed 100 odd people associated with him, that you cannot rule out the importance of organizational structure, the robust organizational structure that he has built, that is equally important.
They have a strong leader, a charismatic leader, and by all accounts, a popular leader, who people may or may not agree with him or like him, but he is a decisive leader of a party.
We have been doing surveys during the state assembly election and also during the Lok Sabha elections, and we have figured out that in most of the election, the popularity of Prime Minister Modi is much higher compared to the vote share of the BJP. This is an indication, clear indication, that Prime Minister Modi is a vote puller for BJP.
The Bharatiya Janata Party headquarters, New Delhi, home to all important party decisions. Also the place from where the BJP celebrates all its electoral wins, big or small. Result after result, the evening appointment is fixed.
भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, वंदे 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 वंदे।
I think it is important to lift the morale of the worker or to send out a message that every event is important. don't treat any event as a small event or lightly. I think the message needs to be sent out, and Prime Minister believes that you have to keep the morale high of the party workers.
If you see the past, since 2002, I believe, if I'm not wrong, I mean, every victory, after every state election victory, Modi used to go to his party headquarters. So, in Ahmedabad. So, that is not something new. He has been doing it in the past as well. So, I think the obvious message is to emphasize the strength of the organization. He tries to convey the message to party cadres that you are equally important, you are a stakeholder in this victory.
Election after election, it is the strike rate of the BJP which shines in sharp contrast to the opposition. The BJP's success over the past 4 decades can be seen in the strike rate map, and the rise of the BJP directly linked to the fall of the Congress. From 1984, when the BJP had 2 MPs, to 2019, when the party managed to cross 300 on its own.
लोकतंत्र में पहली बात तो हार भी कोई बुरी नहीं होती, लेकिन हाँ, हर पार्टी जीतने के लिए लड़ती है। देखिए, बीजेपी में अमित भाई जब राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष बने तो उन्होंने पार्टी की सदस्यता के विस्तार के लिए डिजिटली एक बहुत बड़ा एम्पावरमेंट कैंपेन चलाया। दूसरा, पार्टी अध्यक्ष के नाते उन्होंने अपने कार्यकाल में लगभग 3 बार पूरे हिंदुस्तान का दौरा किया, हिंदुस्तान के जिलों में रात्रि विश्राम किया, वहाँ कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ बैठ के करी। तो जब शीर्ष नेतृत्व इतनी सहजता के साथ जिला स्तर पर उपलब्ध होता है तो कार्यकर्ताओं में नैतिक बल भी खड़ा होता है, विश्वास भी खड़ा होता है, लड़ने की ताकत भी खड़ी होती है।
Modi's party boasts of being the world's largest, pats itself on the back for an ironclad organization structure, and prides itself in its karyakartas.
देश की कोटि-कोटि नागरिकों ने इस फकीर की झोली को भर दिया।
But what if you take Modi out of the dynamics? Can this system still win elections?
Well, that is a question which will be like chicken and egg. So, in politics, this kind of question would be difficult to answer. But of course, I mean, both are equally important. But my assessment is that if you have an organization which is thriving, robust, then the organization outlasts individuals. Organization invent its own icons of the time.
I think now it is very difficult for machinery to deliver without Modi. We have been doing surveys at the time of assembly election and Lok Sabha election, since there is a lot of discussion about how much Prime Minister Modi is an asset for BJP. We tried to quantify that, and we figured out that in 2019 Lok Sabha elections, of every 100 votes which BJP got, almost 36 votes came from Prime Minister Modi. It was a gift of Modi to BJP.
The BJP's machinery will function without Modi. But the BJP machinery functions optimally with Narendra Modi. In other words, Narendra Modi is the best mascot the BJP has got for ensuring winnability. And there are no challengers to his primacy.
जनता ની આકાંક્ષાઓના હંમેશા આદેશ માને।
BJP's rise to power is a mix of organizational strength, the backing of the RSS and other arms of the Sangh Parivar, social welfare schemes of the Modi government, understanding and championing the complex code of caste matrix, and yes, at the core of the BJP's philosophy, wearing Hindutva proudly on its sleeve. Which is why the party that saw its organizational rise at the back of the Ram Temple agitation is seen building on its core strength of religious identity with a mix of everything else. Let us deal with these issues one by one.
मोदी सर 1,80,000 दिया है, मट्टी काम के पैसे भी डाल है, बिल्ला पूरे आ गए, अच्छा खुशी हूँ मैं।
A beneficiary of Modi's welfare schemes, Labharthi, as they're popularly called in Hindi. Government data shows that there was an increase of 9.8% in the expenditure allocation to the social services sector in the year 2021-22 over the previous year.
आज हम 1.5 साल के भीतर 200 करोड़ वैक्सीन डोज के करीब पहुंच चुके हैं।
This was the peak of the corona crisis, where lockdowns and the disease was a double whammy for the people.
इस लड़ाई में देश को सुरक्षित रखने में कोरोना वॉरियर्स हैं, हेल्थ केयर और फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स हैं, उनका बहुत बड़ा योगदान है।
लोगों को लगने लगा है कि देश में अब सरकार आई है, ऐसी सरकार आई है जो गरीबों की है, ऐसी सरकार आई है जो समाज के अंतिम छोर पर बैठे हुए व्यक्तियों की है। तो निश्चित रूप से उनका भावनात्मक समर्थन, निश्चित रूप से उनकी आकांक्षाओं को पूरे करने वाले नेतृत्व के प्रति समर्थन और निश्चित रूप से उनके जीवन में आने वाले परिवर्तनों को देश के योगदान के लिए बढ़ाने के मन का परिवर्तन, ये तीनों परिवर्तन के साथ वो हमको मतदान करते हैं। और एस्पिरेशन के लिए अगर समाज का कोई वर्ग वोट देता है तो पॉजिटिव एस्पिरेशन के लिए, तो उसका स्वागत किया जाना चाहिए।
Mr. Modi has the ability to reinvent himself. You see, he came with the slogan in 2014 of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka, later added Sabka Vishwas. Now that post the kind of policies that were followed, statements that were made, very clearly showed a lack of inclusion, Sabka Saath, and that was obvious. So at some point he came up with BJP standing for the Shoshit, the Vanchit, the Pidit, the poorer sections. And in that sense, there was an image change, strategy change, and the BJP successfully, through refining, improving, and widening the direct benefit transfer policy and other schemes like the PM Awas Yojana or the Ayushman, the health scheme, they reached out to these people. Thirdly, the BJP is constantly reviewing electoral strategy. In truth, the BJP has two serious limitations. Earlier, its vote base was narrow, limited to the forward castes. And the BJP realized it itself. It therefore then began to co-opt consciously the OBCs in order to widen its electoral base. Now these are strategies that the BJP adopts in order to both widen its base and improve upon its winnability factor.
This book, released a couple of years ago, tells us that Modi's electoral wins are not all campaign and euphoria, but a deep and scientific attempt at managing the perfect caste arithmetic. Notice these chapters that talk about the total number of SC, ST and OBC representation in office bearers, right down to the state and the district level. The same pattern is followed in seat selection, candidate profiling. It is no wonder then that the BJP tries to appeal to the non-Jatav Dalit, a traditional BSP voter, or a section of the Yaduvanshis, traditional voters of the Samajwadi Party. In 2014, India's most populous state gave the BJP more than 70 out of 80 seats. And in 2019, when the opposition joined hands in the most unusual alliance, the BJP still managed over 60 seats.
2014 मुझे ज्यादा जानते नहीं थे, लेकिन आपने भरोसा किया। 2019 में आपने मुझे ज्यादा जानने के बाद उसमें और ज्यादा ताकत आई।
The story repeats state after state. The party has been successful in some, but not so successful in others.
See, this is not new of BJP, but I think BJP has crafted it much better compared to many political parties. To cite the data, if we look at the vote of how OBC voted for different political parties in different elections, 2009 elections, BJP roughly got 12-14% of the BJP got 20% of the OBC votes in 2009 election. Went up now, if you look at the 2019 Lok Sabha election, among the OBCs, 44% voted for BJP. It's almost kind of a double the number. And who are the OBCs who have shifted in favor of BJP?
कोई भेदभाव के बिना, न धर्म का भेदभाव, न जाति का भेदभाव, न शहर और गांव का भेदभाव, गरीब यानी गरीब एक ही तराजू से तोला जाएगा, गरीब यानी गरीब।
Could this be the reason why the opposition now wants the government to announce caste-based census to determine the exact number of OBCs and castes, an exercise that failed to take off in 2011 and was conducted successfully last time only under the British rule in the 1930s? The BJP has been reticent in its reply.
बिना इकोनॉमिकल जस्टिस के सोशल जस्टिस भी प्राप्त नहीं किया जा सकता और बिना इकोनॉमिकल और सोशल जस्टिस के पॉलिटिकल जस्टिस भी प्राप्त नहीं किया जा सकता है। बीजेपी इकोनॉमिक, पॉलिटिकल और सोशल जस्टिस तीनों की त्रिवेणी पे लगातार काम करने वाली पार्टी है। यही हमारी नेशनलिज्म की थ्योरी और यही सबका साथ सबका विकास है जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम कर रहे हैं।
हिंदुस्तान में जहां से भी कांग्रेस जाती है, दोबारा कांग्रेस लौट करके नहीं आती है।
As Modi pitches and showcases his achievements day after day, from roads to airports to ports, development is important to the BJP strategy. But the party has never forgotten that all-important and essential ingredient which is at the core of its ideology. Imagine this. If the BJP were an email, the username will be Vikas, but the password, perhaps Hindutva?
I have a slight difference of opinion on that. It's not Hindutva which has taken BJP to such heights. Hindutva consolidated BJP's support base, but I think more than Hindutva, it is the nationalism, issue of nationalism which has taken BJP's to a new height. And the nationalism is a word and Hindutva feeds it into nationalism, whether we are talking about India's pride across in the India's image across the world, that also fits into this whole issue of nationalism. So more than Hindutva, Hindutva has taken BJP's vote share to say roughly about 30%, 32%, just to put it in numbers. But when BJP started invoking the whole issue of nationalism, national pride, that has helped BJP in scaling the new heights or the heights which BJP has been able to achieve, 37% votes in 2019 Lok Sabha elections.
अपने परंपरागत ज्ञान के आधार पे नई दुनिया के साइंटिफिक विजन के साथ जोड़कर आगे बढ़ना, भारत की स्पिरिचुअलिटी और वेस्ट की साइंस को जोड़ करके आगे बढ़ना, अपनी सभी लोगों के जीवन में परिवर्तन ला करके एस्पिरेशनल भारत को अमृतकाल का भारत बनाना, मुझे लगता है यही भारत का वह सिविलाइजेशनल इश्यूज़ और चैलेंज है जिसको हम पूरा करने का काम कर रहे हैं। अब इसको कोई हिंदुत्व के नाम से पहचाने तो भी कोई बुरा नहीं है और इसको अगर भारत का अमृतकाल के नाम से पहचाने तो भी कोई बुरा नहीं है। लेकिन एक इसमें एश्योरेंस है, ये वसुधैव कुटुंबकम वाला G20 का नेतृत्व करने वाला प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व का भारत है जो अमृतकाल की ओर जा रहा है।
They have a narrative. Again, you may or may not agree with it, but the narrative is crystal clear, which is a combination of Hindutva, which is the consolidation of Hindu votes, which in a country like ours they have managed to do well. They have a narrative of hyper-nationalism, where they, in a sense, have successfully projected that they are, in a way, the guarantors of India's nationalistic pride. And thirdly, they have, as part of that narrative, and that's a more recent phenomena, they have welfarism, which is a very potent add-on to the Hindutva philosophy, where they have pursued a policy of delivering to the most needy a set of measures, perhaps not all of them as efficaciously, but that welfarism through direct benefit transfer is an aspect. So that's the narrative. Thirdly, they have an organized cadre, by which I mean not only the BJP, but if you combine the RSS cadre at the ground and the degree of organizational rigor the party has demonstrated, I think that are its strengths.
जैसे पूरे तेलंगाना का स्टेट यहाँ इस मैदान में ही सिमट आया है।
So who really is Modi's opposition?
गरीब, दलित, वंचित, पिछड़े, आदिवासी।
And can a united opposition, if they do unite, defeat him in 2024?
भारत माता की।
You can defeat BJP by united opposition, but I think you can't defeat Modi by united opposition. Why I say that? If you look at the stature of Prime Minister Modi in terms of his popularity, there is no leader among the opposition parties who can match the popularity of Prime Minister Modi. Now, the question of can BJP be defeated if opposition unites together? If we do a rough calculation based on the assumption that all the political parties poll as many votes as they polled in 2019, and if all non-BJP parties come together, then there is a possibility that BJP might come down to say 220, 230, and the regional parties, all regional parties can cross 300 mark. That's a possibility, but does it seem practical? I don't think it seems practical.
We are less than a year away from the general elections, and I have been a part of many political parties. Well, not many, at least two. But I think it's late in the day for the opposition, because there is arithmetical unity and there is organic unity. I've written about this, I've elaborated upon it. Arithmetical unity usually means nothing. It means periodical congregations of opposition leaders for photo ops on stage. Organic unity is when the same leaders get down to the difficult and far more demanding task of so organizing themselves that they strengthen a party in the region where it's expected to win and stop dividing the vote in places where that division helps the BJP.
आइए यहाँ से हम दोगुनी ताकत से राष्ट्र निर्माण में जुट जाएं।
With less than a year left, the towering leader prepares once again for the uphill task.
भारत माता की।